Let's go through this bag I brought from prison, man, and show y'all some of the memories that I have from when I was incarcerated.
Hold down, man. Suitcase this, my cell phone, and my charger don't walk with a limp. Get it knocked off or missing, you gon' get it. Next time I see you ass, you gon' leave airlifted.
What's up, y'all? You already know, man. Kfrogtv back in the building. Y'all go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, and make sure you hit the notification bell so you can see it first. Now, a lot of people that watch my channel, they know that I caught 5 years in Florida Department of Corrections. Throughout that time that I was in the Florida Department of Corrections, more things that I came across, I tried to hang on to keep as, memories as keepsakes, like for when I come home, I would have it so that way it's like a memory, I would never have to go back to prison again, just try to hang on to as much things as I can. So in this video here, I actually found one of my actual bags that I brought home from prison, and I'm gonna go through the things that are actually in here, because for those that don't know, Kfrogtv likes to bring you real prison content. I like to go through the real deal, not just come on here and talk. I like to, the real deal. So, as you see, this is my standard little laundry bag. This is one of them. I actually came home with, I believe, 2 bags like this and 3 blue canteen bags, which actually look like this, but they're blue and they have thicker straps. That's how you know the difference between a canteen bag and a laundry bag. But I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, and we're gonna get right in here and see what it is that's in this bag. Okay, well, I see off rip that there's a photo album. This right here is an actual photo album from prison that you get on the canteen list. As you see, it's kind of worn out. They sell them for I believe they're like $2. That's how much they are, because they fall apart eventually. This is my actual photo album. As you see, it's falling apart and everything. I got the Kfrogtv, stamps, or the KFROG stamps. I got when KFROG Jr. came to Vizzo, rocking the shirt. Just my standard, thing. This is when I had the shirts on the streets before I got locked up. And just different things. This right here is actually when I did a swap. If you can see I got my son right here rocking the G-Shock watch. I was trying to get a G-Shock in that day through Vizzo. Wasn't really that easy. But yeah, so this is just my standard, photo album. I went through like 10 of them by the time I went home, because they get so, thrashed from throughout the years of them. There's another set of the stamps. This right here, as you can see, it says "Love don't die, it kills." That's actually the printout of my my collarbone piece. That's the sketch, my stencil. I mean, right there. That's the part I got tatted on my neck. And yeah, for the most part, there's my old boy. They gave us these little candies in prison because Charlotte CI, they got a lot of things donated as food-wise. They gave us all these little Snickers around the time and that had the football teams on there. I came across the Dolphin one. I had to keep that and put that in there next to my dad's picture, because he's the one that made me such a diehard Dolphin fan. I posted a picture on my community section yesterday, for Father's Day, shouting out my dad, and it's actually that same picture right there. You see me, my little brother, and my dad. All right. Yeah, so for the most part, this is just my standard. This is just my standard. I actually have this right here. This is something a tattoo man drew up while I was in confinement or whatever. He drew this up and sent it up to me. He did it free-handed. It says Eastside Davy. And it's actually a syringe leaking, and then it says R.I.P. him. But anyways, this right here is out of a magazine. These are the things that we actually use. They're smell goods when you rip them open. Like that, before Vizzo, and then you rub them on yourself. You rub them on your shirt. That's for a smell good. Well, that's it for the photo album. At least y'all can see, what the photo albums look like. All right, now let's go ahead and see what I have in this bag. I mean, in this manila envelope. Oh, I got my, let's dump this stuff out real quick. Let's see. Oh, L86368. Got my actual DC card, which this is your credit card in prison. Anything you want to buy off Canteen, anything, you gotta like rock this. It goes like on your shirt so they can see your DC number. And anytime you want to buy something from Canteen, this is what you need. You know, you want to cut your pickles up when you're cooking and you ain't got no knife. DC number game. Of course, a deck of cards. These are the address books. You actually got to get these from Chapel. If you write Chapel saying, hey, I need a book, an address book to, you know, to put all my contacts in, they'll give you these. Some camps, when you go to Chapel, there'll be like a pile of them and you could take one. I've had like, they fall apart throughout the years also. Oh, okay, look, here's a brush I had. I had a brush, as you see. Front line, DV with it. Just a brush, you know, just to go like this with, you know. But this is my actual brush from when I was in there. Okay, I spoke on these before. This is what the mirrors look like. This is a mirror, as you see. Look, I'm shining it on my device right now that I'm recording with. And you actually tape a piece of magnet. I taped a piece of magnet on the back. And all it is a piece of plastic. But it's shiny enough to be like a mirror. And they sell the mirrors on the Canteen as well. But you usually find a piece of magnet, if you're lucky and come across it, tape it on there so that way anywhere you go, whether it's in your cut, like in between your bunks or wherever, the magnet, you stick it up on the metal because your whole bunk's made of metal. So that way it'll hold it and you can look at yourself in the mirror. Some people have pieces like this big. This is a half of a mirror. This is only half of it. They're usually this big when you buy them. Because the thing you have in your cell, as far as a mirror or inside the open bay bathrooms, it's just a piece of metal that is shiny, but it's not buffed out. So you can't really see the actual, you know, how clear your face looks. You can just see you, but not as much. These are actually real clear, like a real mirror. So, as you see, I brought my part of my whole mirror home, I guess. What else? Oh, this is when I was actually, when I first started doing my, using my stamps. As you see, there's 1, 2 from the letters I sent out. What else we got in here? Let's see. What is all this stuff? All right. What are these? Oh, these are actually the forms that you fill out for the MPs. How I mentioned before on the MPs, where you got to fill out how to get your music put on there. You see how it says Florida order form, and then you got to put on there what it is you're trying to order, whether it's songs or whatever it may be. As you see, I got a whole pack of these. You usually got to get these from the property room. I guess I always kept them on deck. Okay. Oh, look, this is a pop-out card. You see this? This is a card I got made while I was at DeSoto Annex. And I was going to send it to a female. So, look, it shows this on there with, you know, Sylvester the cat. And then I was going to write something. And then when you open it, look. You see what I'm saying? Little things like that or whatever. Send it to a female. She's going to be like, man, why you send me this with another female on the front? And then when she opens it, you know, it's a pop out. Oh, okay, I see right here I have some portraits. Got portraits of my dad and my son. Some female that I was dating before. KFROG Jr. again. Different female. My first baby mama. Love from your baby daddy, KFROG. Oh, and now we're getting into like the stencils I had for mostly getting tatted. I was gonna get R.I.P. Dad across my forearm. Leprechaun, get the shark. Get that. Yeah, see here's some of my stencils that I was actually supposed to get done. I had never got. See the smoke coming out of the barrel of the gun. I was gonna get this tatted on my side. This right here is the stencil, the exact piece I have on my arm right here. As you could see it. I got this done in confinement. The only difference between my stencil is I didn't want the flower. So I have this whole thing right here on my forearm. I just didn't want to get the flower. You know, like I said, I like to bring different, you know, here's another one that I had drawn up. I want to bring different content than the others, you know, real deal things. Got the leprechaun coming out of the pot of gold with the K shading. All right, so for the most part, that's basically it. But one thing that I do want to actually show also that is in this right here is the exclusive. All right. Now, I had a whole, I'd say 5, maybe sometimes even 7 magazines. All right. These magazines are so exclusive that I try to hold on to 1 or 2 of them to bring home as a memory, you know, and I kept the Vida Guerrero one, okay? The reason I kept her is because, you know, she got the same birthday as me or whatever, and it's definitely a memory that I went through so much time with this magazine, all right? I even posted a picture before where I had a bunch of them in my hand, and you can kind of see this side of that magazine in the picture. The whole key to being able to keep things like this, because anytime they do a shakedown or anytime you go to confinement or anything, it's never guaranteed that you're going to get to keep your magazines. I've had magazines taken from me and I didn't get them back until the next like week, you know, shit like that, that they actually put them in the file cabinet inside of the officer station because the officers want to look at them and not dispose of them like they're supposed to do contraband, okay? But as you see, the way that you make these last so long and the way that inmates make them last is they literally tape the whole thing, okay? So that way there's no water damage, you know, the pages don't start tearing and stuff like that. But luckily for me, I didn't have to, you know, do that with this because I had this saved, put away, you know. But what I did have to do is I had to literally tape a mailing label to where it's got my name with Charlotte CI and everything on here. I had to tape it on there where I'm at, my DC number and all that. It's literally taped on there. You could see how thick the tape is. So that way if they did find it, I say, what do you mean, Sarge? That's mine. I got a subscription to those, you know? And then when they look at it, it does have my name, DC number, and everything like that, you know, because they will take magazines like this, which they always do, you know? So I'm going to tell y'all one time, I'm not sure if I told y'all before about a story one time. We was actually in a school building at a camp I was at, and we were cleaning the school building. When we was inside the school building cleaning, in the corner of the classroom, there was like a dip spot in the roof, like a sag spot, you know, it was all brown looking, you know, like they had a leak going on. So, you know, it was up there for months. You know, everybody knew to stay away from there. It looks like the roof's going to fall in. So, long story short, we're in there cleaning one day. And then we decided, you know, oh, let's poke a hole in it so the water can run out. You know, so that way if it is, you know, it looks like there's water. It looks like it's just water sitting. If we poke it and let all the water run out, you know, then maybe, you know, it'll last longer, you know. Ain't got to worry about it falling on us while we're in the class. So the officer we were with was like, yeah, go ahead. So we jump up on there, boom, I get on the desk, I grab the broom. With the broom, I decide to, like, you know, push it straight up through the drive spot, like the rust stain, and put a hole in the roof, you know. When I do that, a whole chunk of the roof falls. When it fell, the whole thing fell, boom, I jumped off the desk, everything fell on the desk. What was up there was not water, okay? It was actually about 40 something, I believe, mint condition, old school Playboy magazines, okay? This ain't Playboy, but what I'm saying is it was mint condition, old school magazines. Them magazines had to been up there so long, you could tell by how outdated they were, but they was in mint condition. An inmate hid them up there. Someone hid them up there. And they fell, blah, 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 and we all were like, oh, hell yeah. So we all going crazy for them. The officer that we have there started screaming, snapping on us and everything like that. He took them all. He called the captain's orderly and made the captain's orderly come down there with the cart, the same cart they push books on in the library. So the library cart came down there, put all the books on there or whatever, and then have him bring them to the captain's office. All right. You know, we were like, man, whatever, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? You know, we were like, man, come on, Sarge, one ain't gonna hurt. You know what I'm saying? We found him. But he, you know, he wasn't with it. He wanted to go by the books. So he let the runaround take him. So as the runaround takes him or whatever, we go back to work and we go back to buffing, doing what we got to do. Next thing you know, there was 2 officers inside the school building while we were in there with our teacher, which isn't an officer. They're just like a teacher. They actually work for the school board. We're in there with the teacher. And there was 2 officers in some other classrooms inside the school building. Next thing you know, the pound's on lockdown. Them 2 officers, they run off and go running down towards the compound. That same orderly that they had escorting, you know, the books that fell out of the ceiling on the cart, the same person that they had escorting those, I guess when they walked by canteen or whatever, there was a dorm or 2 dorms out there, whatever, of people, and he ended up getting brought in the medical all stabbed up, and all the books were missing. So within 5 minutes of them books being on the compound, we don't know if someone heard it over the radio when he called it into the captain's office and someone was standing there in line and heard it off the officer's radio. Never knew what it was, but the orderly basically got wet up, beat up, and robbed for those books. So the next couple days, they gave us shakedowns. They shook down the whole compound for like 5 days straight. The first 5 days, when they shook down the compound, they ended up only finding 2 of the books. They found 1 in one dorm, 1 in a whole nother dorm. So they didn't even find 40-something more of them. So they continued to, you know, hit us with shakedowns for like 2 weeks straight, trying to, oh, we're going to find out where these books are. And then probably out of the 2 weeks straight, they only found maybe 4 or 5 magazines. You know, that just shows them shits was put up somewhere else again. You know, but that's the thing. When it comes to things like these magazine things are top dollar. Like literally, you know, people save tear outs for magazines like Us magazines, OK magazines, US Weekly magazines. It doesn't matter what it is. People tear out the magazine cutouts and they save them and they do what they got to do with them. People actually, like in their photo album, people will have a photo album of girls, and they'll open, when you open it, it'd be all cutouts of different people from Us magazines. They like will tear out words from magazines to change the colors and the writing. Like it might be blue, green, orange, and white, and it says the word hey. You know what I'm saying? Hi, you doing? Like they actually, you know, spend time doing it with their book. And some of them have thick books like this, and it's all just different cutouts of females in different magazines. You know, so these magazines, you could charge someone $18 to $30 for a magazine like this. So, like I said, I brought Vita Guerrero home with me. She's got the same birthday as me. And, you know, just this magazine, man, spent a lot of time with it. You know, like, you know, as you see right here, look, same birthday as me and all. March 19th. Anyways, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. As you see, and I just wanted to break it down to y'all and go through some of the things that I brought home from prison. You know, like my brush and my ID, the mirror, you know, things like that. I wanted to show y'all actual things that are from prison. Okay, now there is one other thing that I'm going to be doing in another video that was actually in an envelope I found. And it's a couple DRs of mine. For people that don't know what DRs are, is they're disciplinary reports. Your write-ups while you go to confinement. So I actually found a couple of those in a different envelope of mine, and I'm going to be doing a video on, you know, disciplinary reports and breaking down the stories of when I caught the DRs and everything like that. It ain't all of my DRs, but it's a few. It's a few. You feel me? There's, you know what I'm saying? But anyways, I appreciate y'all tuning in. Y'all hit that like, subscribe button. Hope everybody had a good Father's Day. And till next time, man, you already know this frog.